Hey guys, welcome to the channel. I'm Don. This is Rockin' a Country. I react to non-pop country music. Sometimes I do a review, which means I've heard the song at least once before in my life. But this is Leanne Womack's I May Hate Myself in the Morning. It's a reaction. I have not heard this song as far as I know, unless it slipped in somewhere and I just didn't know the title. I don't know. But unlikely. And this is a gift request from Audrey S. So Audrey, thank you for this gift and this request. I always smile when I see your name too. I guess because it happened to have been my mother's first name, and also my last name begins with S, and so it's kind of right there. So anyway, let's see what we've got here with Leanne. Here we go. She's gonna sleep with some dude? Now, does she know the guy? Or is it a one-nighter?
Ain't it just like one of us to pick up the phone and call after a couple drinks and say how you been? I've been wondering if maybe you've been thinking about me. And somewhere in the conversation, an old familiar invitation always arrives. And I may hate myself in the morning, but I'm gonna love you tonight.
There you go. Old drunk dial thing.
Everyone's known someone that they just can't help but want. And even though we just can't make it work out, well, the want to lingers on. So once again we wind up in each other's arms, pretending that it's right.
Male backing. They're together.
And I may hate myself in the morning, but I'm gonna love you tonight.
I doubt you'll
I
hate
know
yourself.
it's wrong, but it ain't easy moving on.
Yeah.
So why can't two friends remember the good times once again?
Why can't friends remember the good times again? Now, friends? I don't know about that. I don't know what their prior relationship was, but obviously they were intimately connected, not just sexually, but emotionally. And but isn't it interesting though that it's like at night that you think of these things, not during the day. You don't say, "Oh, I'm here by myself." It's at night. What is it about the night? Obviously, you're going to sleep. You're going to be laying in bed, and that's sort of going to conjure up, in her case, having him next to her. He's thinking the same thing probably, but he's like, Jesus, I got to drive over there and I'm going to hate myself in the morning. But maybe not. Maybe he'll be like, hey, I'm just getting some. Maybe he's as simple as that, but maybe he's hurting more than she is. Don't know. This has an Italian feel to it.
Sad, thinking how it used to be before everything went bad.
Yeah.
And I guess that's what it is in lonely late night calls like this that we try to find. And I may hate myself in the morning, I'm gonna love you tonight.
Sometimes you're just lonely.
And I may hate myself in the morning, but I'm gonna love you tonight.
Italian cafe feel. This is a really interesting musical production. Lots going on in it. Well, that slow fade there. I think the instrumental interludes are sort of meant to allow you to know that they're together and going at it, and they're together. And he's got to get up in the morning and go back home. She's going to be sad, a bit guilty, a bit happy, a bit what is going on here. He'll be the same. Should we try again? You at least have a library of understanding of what it's like to be with the person. There's the good, and there's the arguing and the hurtful things that were said that you can forgive if you can work your way through them and communicate. Most problems are in communication, I think. Many of them are. I don't know about most. That's hard to say. In relationships, it's, you have different ways. Some people are more affectionate just naturally than others. And we sort of have our own preferences and desires in a relationship, and the other person may not be that. They may have some of it, but not enough, or they may not be able to sustain it, or they may think it's just, stale or boring, and they stop giving in the way that attracted the mate to them in the first place. But eventually, communication's a biggie. The way in which you talk with one another and vibe. And I talk about this in my book on personality types, that some people are just instinctive contrarians. And when I was younger, I was this way, so I can relate to it. When I was much younger, because I was trying to prove, in my early 20s and stuff, I was trying to prove how much I knew to others. You're still in those proving grounds at that stage in life when you're trying to establish a career, or you're trying to, you're in college and you're trying to show your professors that you know stuff. And then even with your friends, you might be like, yeah, they may say something's a certain way. You're like, yeah, but what about this? And then this is another way. And then you don't realize you can develop the habit of being what I call instinctive contrarians, where immediately when they hear something, they want to point out some other way of looking at it. When you're in a relationship, though, and when I'm doing my life coaching, I let folks know that over time just becomes sandpaper, and it'll prevent the other person, consciously or subconsciously, from wanting to say anything, because immediately they're going to get disagreed with. Or the conversation will be redirected in another direction, and there's not a flow together through life. So it's like the islands in the stream thing. That's one thing that folks don't know. So it's making me think that I maybe should put this in the premarital counseling playlist, Audrey, because I don't know if I would want to let people know this is an option. It may make it easier to split if they know they could continue being with one another. I think I'll refrain from putting it in there, but as far as the different ways in which we communicate with each other, not just verbally, but it's also physically. And yeah, there's so much to relationships, but should you get back together? Just like in the song, she kind of wants to, but doesn't. He kind of wants to, but doesn't. It's always after a couple of drinks, as she said, and it's at night. What do you say? I guess fewer people are seeing that you're an item because he just comes over and then leaves, but then your immediate neighbors know you had your one-nighter with them, and so, c'est la vie. All right. Audrey, I'm going to rate this song. That was really interesting song. I like the instrumentation on it. It was sort of orchestral, had an Italian country feel to it. The number that popped in my, and I like the way she sang it. The lyrics were very simple. And I like deep lyrics. I like lyrics that make me think. But this launched me into talking about communication. The number that popped into my head was a straight 9, a 9.0. And you guys are really on a tear here for the last week or so. By and large, I mean, just getting me going on these songs. So there it is, guys. I hope you enjoyed that. That's courtesy of Audrey S. Have a great day. I'll see you on another video and keep rocking the country.